If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again, and welcome to episode number 16 of the Inter Milan career mode here on FIFA 15. We made a transfer yesterday, a rather enforced transfer that was pretty necessary considering the way that we unfortunately lost one of our better players through injury for quite a considerable amount of time. So if you missed yesterday's episode and you want to catch up and see what that transfer was, the player in question isn't involved in this game, so it won't be spoiled just yet. So you have time to go back and check yesterday's video if you want to make sure that you are fully up to speed. But today we start with a cup game at home against the Sassuolo, a side that have the potential to really cause us some problems, especially with Berardi on that right hand side, who's a player we're interested in bringing into the club once he returns to Juventus after his loan spell here in the next season. Obviously they're playing Taidera at centre mid as well, who unrealistically starts despite the fact that we're his parent club, so obviously it's just FIFA being FIFA. But Podolski's strong left foot was denied there by the goalkeeper, so Moussa Sissoko is going to be the man to stand the corner up into the box. So still inside the opening 10 minutes or so, and Podolski was not to be denied that opening goal. He has a rocket of a left-footed shot, obviously, but proved there that he can put quite an amount of power behind a header as well. So we take a 1-0 lead in the 7th minute, and then 3 minutes later in the 10th, they get a corner themselves. It's stood up into the box, up goes Flacari, and after a brilliant header at one end, an even better, in my opinion, header at the other, to head that back across goal and into the far top corner shows real class. A brilliant header from Flacari, and Sassuolo were back on level terms at 1-1 immediately after going behind. So could we get ourselves back in front again? That was what we were going to try to do. Jonathan is going to be the man to turn inside here. Really nice move. Stands the ball up. Icardi with a header. 3 headers and 3 goals so far. But then it's back to 2 headers and 2 goals because it was chalked off. Mauro Icardi just offside. You'll be able to see from the replay. He tried his best to get back onside after the initial cross didn't come in. He's just trying to beat the offside trap. Can't quite do it. Obviously, it had to react to the cross as well to make sure that he didn't let the chance go had he been onside. Unfortunately, he was the wrong side, and the linesman flagged him off. So we push further into the first half, playing a nice little bit of possession football here. Sassuolo dancing around in my box, a little bit nervous about putting in a tackle and losing the ball to a penalty, but unfortunately they just turned me and put it in the back of the net regardless. So Sansone makes it Sassuolo 2 into 1 to come from 1-0 down to get themselves in front. Now I needed to try and pick the ball off them here as they continue to have a spell of pressure, try and get it back up the other end, but Vasalco was really kind of denying me that opportunity by jinking one way and the other until Nagatomo managed to steal it off him, fires it into Podolski. Not the best of balls, but Icardi nicks it off the defender, puts it underneath the goalkeeper, kind of through the goalkeeper, and we make it 2-2 just before half-time. The initial shot, I think, was actually going off target, but it's cannoned off the goalkeeper's instep into the back of the net. So we head into the second half, trying to get ourselves in front for the second time in the game. Obviously, technically, we had ourselves in front 2 times already, but the goal was chalked off thanks to offside. Moussa Sissoko with a really nice run, but a good save, and we can't react to the rebounding ball in the box. And unfortunately, we stay at 2-2, but we're still going to have the chances going our way. Lucas Podolski involved again into Brozovic, who's been decent for me so far and growing quite nicely as well. Lucas Podolski's going to do a nice little step over here, and 9 times out of 10 you'd think he's going to finish that into the bottom corner, but I think actually had the defender not been in the way, it would have beaten the goalkeeper. But a brilliant block by the defender, a last-ditch challenge to get in between man and goal, and unfortunately we stayed at 2-2. Sansone involved again into Flacari. They're 2 goal scorers to this point. Vasalco with a shot, and I'm not really too sure what the goalkeeper was doing there. He just didn't react to the shot at all. Maybe it was just because it was just hit too hard, and just didn't have time to react to it, but it was a very well struck strike. And strike, lol. And it's 3-2 Sassuolo, so we're going to try and get ourselves back in front again. And again in that situation, 9 times out of 10, you'd have put your money on Podolski to bury it, but he scuffs his shot, perhaps put off by the fact that he hasn't been able to really have a decent shot on his left foot all game, other than that one that the keeper saved right at the beginning. And it cost us. We lose 3-2, so unfortunately we're out of the Coppa Italia at the very first time of being involved in it, which is particularly frustrating, but we're trying to free up some extra cash to bring in some more players in this window if we possibly can, sending out Isaac Donkor on loan here as well to free up some extra wage cash. And obviously we get an offer in here for Hugo Campagnaro as well. An ageing player who's dropping in ratings, one we want to replace. Not only get out, but we want to replace as well. So I'm asking for £900,000 here from Udinese. But unfortunately, they are going to turn that down. They reckon he's not worth 900k, so I was pretty annoyed at that. Anyway, we head into the second game of the episode away from home, this time against Empoli. And they're a side that in real life have really raised a few eyebrows this year, had a decent season. They currently sit 20th in this particular save after having won and drawn at 5 games apiece and lost 8. But I made a bit of a mistake here. I didn't see the weather was snowy, and I selected my white away kit. So you'll be able to see in a second that it wasn't necessarily going to be the easiest way to spot my players on the pitch, but we're just going to have to try and battle through it. Obviously, as you saw there, they're playing a 4-3-1-2 formation, which is what the default at Inter was prior to us arriving, but we switched to this 3-5-2, and as you can see, new signing Marco Sal gets his first start for the club in this game, but as you can also see, not necessarily the easiest of games, of situations, not the easiest on the eyes when it comes to spotting my players on the pitch, but I did manage to spot Marco Sal there in space, sweated it a la Hazard to Loic Remy, from Palacio to Marco Sal, and 10 minutes into his first team debut, he gets a goal. Brilliant stuff. Debut goal for Marco Sal. Couldn't have asked for more from him. Him and Palacio might have to strike up a decent partnership, or he and Icardi, because he's obviously got some big boots to fill now that Paulo Dybala is going to be out for 3 months with that torn calf muscle. They got themselves back on level terms immediately again. Same way that Sassuolo did it. They really good header actually. A brilliant header off the bar into the back of the net, and Empoli are back on level terms. They were going to have a nice little spell of pressure here, trying to get themselves in front in the same way that Sassuolo did in the previous game. I was determined though not to let that happen for a second game in a row. Macarone gets the shot and it flashes just wide of that post. Really good hit from him on his left foot, but it flies wide, and we live to fight another day. So into the second half we go. As you can see, I brought on Davide Santon for Xherdan Shaqiri, just to freshen things up on the left-hand side. He's obviously perhaps more suited to a wing-back role than Xherdan Shaqiri is. And Moussa Sissoko's also just come on the pitch as well, with great effect. A wonderful strike from Moussa. The Frenchman powers us 2-1 in front. That was a very, very impressive goal, and then just kind of disappears in the snow on the pitch as he throws himself to the floor in his bright white kit. So we were still struggling to deal with the conditions, really. You can barely see my players when there's a lot of snow on the pitch there. You can barely see the ball at the best of times as well. And it does go into the back of the net there, though, in off the post. And it kind of went across the goal line and just snuck in the far side. But similar to our headed goal in the previous game, it was offside by a similar margin as well. Very, very few inches in it. And unfortunately for them, that was going to be their last chance as well. So we get a 2-1 win on the back of our unfortunate 3-2 defeat in the Cup. So it's nice to get 3 points in the league yet again. And as you can see, we're getting offers in for more centre-backs that we're trying to move on. I am looking to move on Marco Andreoli as well. And as you can see here, going to put a counter offer in of 3.5 when they've offered 2.3. He's valued 2.5. And I would like a little bit more, and as you can see, confirmation that Campagnaro's 900k price tag that I put on him was rejected by Udinese. Also, perhaps looking to move on Yuto Nagatomo as well. So £2.5 million they bid for him when he's valued at 2.9. I asked for 4.5 because he does still have a decent amount of football being played for him in this particular save right now. And obviously, I need the money, as much money as possible, to try and bring in a replacement, most notably Carrasco, who we were looking at earlier on in the window. Unfortunately, though, they turned down the £4.5 million bid. Lazio turned down was it 3.5 I put in? But they did then offer me 3.2, and I felt that was fair, so I accepted it, and we have had £2.7 million added to our transfer budget, and we'll of course have transfer deadline day in tomorrow's episode. We've got a week's worth of transfer window left, and then deadline day, plus a game against Torino tomorrow. So we currently sit 19th in the table, though, a singular point behind our local Milan rivals there on 40 points. So it's all to play for right now in Serie A. Juventus not far behind either, and neither are Roma, with a game in hand, in fact. So Roma could go top again if they win that game in hand, and Lazio could jump up to 5th if they win their game in hand as well. So it's very, very tight at the top right now. Any one of 4 teams could take that top spot as we head just over the halfway mark. Of course, we're bang on the halfway mark now. 19 games.
So we have to play everybody once more, and then we'll have to wait and see where we end up at the end of that particular round of fixtures. Hopefully, one place higher up than we are right now. But that's going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. There'll be a My Player episode later on tonight, of course, as well. So feel free to check the channel page for that. Drop the video if you enjoy, like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already to make sure you don't miss out on any further episodes of this series, the My Player series, the Career Mode Road to Glory series, which of course went up last night. And I will be streaming Football Manager over on twitch.tv/ChaseNoGaming later on tonight as well. So check the links in the description to my Twitch and to my Twitter. But for now, I'll see you next time.